Being recorded. All right. Three. There's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos.
Legend.
Incredible. Incredible. We're going to have to talk about that in a second.
Apparently, this man hit his first career home run on the day that Osama bin Laden got killed.
No, he didn't.
Yes,
no, he
didn't.
Holy shit.
Yes,
this guy
did.
This guy's a historical marker. He just marks historical events by hitting home runs.
So Nick Castellanos, the legend.
So if you don't know, Nick Castellanos went and hit another home run tonight. If you haven't remember the infamous, I forget his first name, Tom Brennan. The Cincinnati Reds announcer said something completely homophobic and got caught in a hot mic. And in the middle of that, he was trying to apologize but still do the broadcast. And that's where the infamous, and there's a drive to deep. I'm terribly sorry for these words. I consider myself a family man. And there's a drive in a deep left field by Nick Castellanos.
I don't know if I'll be putting on this headset again.
Yeah. And tonight, the Cincinnati, not the Cincinnati broadcast, but the Kansas City Royals broadcast was trying to eulogize a longtime worker's father who fought in World War II. They came out of that segment, and there's a drive in a deep left center field by Castellanos. He was a great man. He's fought in World War II, and there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos.
Like immediately out of the gate, like first pitch of the inning type shit. Like, bro,
it's never a good time to eulogize somebody on air.
That's what he said. Never a good time. And Dex, you were saying, what historical events would you put Castellanos in? And I said, Mr. Clinton, what exactly was your relationship with Miss Lewinsky? There's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos.
Somebody said the moon landing, and that shit is killing me. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. A drive in the deep left center field by Castellanos.
The one that you put, I was dying laughing in the car. Is we, the people, find Orenthal Jane Simpson not guilty, and there's a drive to deep left center field by Castellanos.
Fucking legend. He will hit a home run literally on the worst day of your life. It doesn't matter who you are.
I did say he would have been that the news of Pompeii would have broke, and he would have been like, let me just hit a grand slam really quickly. Anyway, we're doing the Fast and Furious movies, so
let's go. F9, baby, we are here.
This is episode 70. It's about family. We're doing a Fast and Furious 9 review. Let's just get right into this stupid ass movie. This movie stinks. F9, the Fast Saga. Otherwise, they haven't called this Fast and Furious 9 in any promotions at all. It's just F9. Because at this point,
that's all they need. That's all they need. Just F9.
Fuck extra letters in this. Yeah, whatever. We don't need extra letters. F9, the Fast Saga, came out just a few weeks ago. PG-13. It is so long. This movie is egregiously long. 2 hours and 23 minutes for this movie. Has a 5.5 on IMDb with 25,000 ratings. So people do not like it. Cypher enlists the help of Jacob with a K, Dom's brother, to take revenge on Dom and his team. Is directed by Justin Lin, who's done a couple of these movies written by Daniel Casey. Justin Lin also had a screenplay credit as well. It stars none other than Vin Diesel. Michelle Rodriguez is still alive and back, apparently. Tyrese Gibson, Jordana Brewster, Ludacris, Natalie Emmanuel, John Cena, Charlize, criminally underused Charlize Theron, and they bring back Sung Kang as Han. Finn Cole is in there as younger Jacob. Helen Mirren's in here. Kurt Russell's in here. Good Lord. And then they also,
Bow Wow.
Yeah, they also bring back Shad Moss as Twinkie. They bring back the dudes from Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, the one that everyone loves, right?
Yeah, everybody's favorite.
Yeah, people have often said this. It's doing well.
And that is where you first meet Han, so let's give the film a little bit of credit.
That's true.
Han is amazing.
Let's see. This has made its money. Obviously, it's box office Viagra. It has grossed $497 million worldwide, nearly $500 million. Movies are back, folks.
Yep.
In case you didn't know.
I'm very happy.
It has a 60% on Rotten Tomatoes, a 82% audience score. F9 sends the franchise hurtling further over the top, more over the top than ever, but director Justin Lin's knack for preposterous set pieces keeps the action humming. That's my review. Go ahead, Tej. You love these movies. You swear by this. I'm gonna get in an argument. I can already feel it. Picked the wrong week to stop drinking.
These films bring me so much happiness. I walked into the movie theater. I knew that nobody important was gonna die. I knew that Vin Diesel and John Cena are not the same race, so it'd be weird for them to be brothers. But I didn't care. It doesn't matter. Do any of the stunts in this film make sense? No, they do not.
Not at all.
Are they awesome? Yes, they are fucking awesome.
Incredibly.
Do these movies even try to have a plot anymore? No, they don't. They played Charlize Theron millions of dollars. She was probably on set for maybe a day, maybe one day. They did nothing. And then they killed her, and then she wasn't dead. Like these, I want them to make 100 of these movies. I want them to not kill any of the main characters, and I want them to just keep doing the craziest stunts of all time. They basically stole the magnets thing from Six Underground, another amazing film that everybody hates. Six Underground is fucking amazing.
Six Underground is objectively the worst film I've ever seen.
They basically just was like, hey, magnets are cool. Let's just make that the whole fucking thing of this film. There are magnets everywhere in this film, and it is awesome every time. Every time they use the magnet trick, even though you know it's coming, you know that's the way they're going to write themselves out of every hole that they write it in. The magnets are still awesome every time. Is John Cena good in this movie? I don't know. Does it make sense that Vince or that Dominic Toretto, who is obsessed with family, would never tell any of his friends that he has a long lost brother? No, it doesn't make sense, but it doesn't matter. This film is fun. I'm giving this film a strong B+, and I will be in the seats for Fast 10.
Oh, dude, gross. This movie. Okay, sorry, Dex, go ahead. I just it's all about family, but also just Jacob.
Fuck my brother. Fuck him. Who needs him?
Never needed him before.
You can't live in LA now. You killed my dad. You can live anywhere else in the world, but it's not here.
You can live in San Bernardino, but you cannot live in Los Angeles. The fuck out of my face.
But yeah, man, I saw this movie twice because I saw it the first day it came out, and we're doing this podcast a couple weeks later, so I had to refresh myself and have A-list, so it didn't cost me any extra money.
We were saying right before we recorded, I don't remember anything from this movie. Not a thing.
None of it matters. Literally none of it. Like,
no stakes.
There's zero stakes. But this movie is so fire. There are only two problems with this movie. One, John Cena is criminally underused. You see more of like flashback John Cena than you do of actual John Cena, which is
they didn't give him anything to do. I wanted him to have something to do.
Tragic. They needed way more John Cena. And the other problem with this movie is every single time Dominic Toretto speaks or is on camera. Dominic Toretto is the worst character. Not Vin Diesel, because both Vin Diesel and flashback Dominic Toretto are trash. Everything they say is fucking garbage and useless, and I hate it. But
without The Rock, he is 90% of the screen time, and that is not okay.
He fucking stinks. Every single thing that he's like in the beginning of the movie, they're like, she killed the mother of your child, and he just turns, looks at the camera, and goes, "Things change." And I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
He manhandled like 30 dudes in a tower, and we thought that he died, and it was incredible. And he did a great job in that scene.
There was not 1 second where you thought he was going to die. Not one.
He should have died. He should have died.
No, he should. No, he should not.
This movie is so much better. Dominic Toretto dies in that scene. It really is, because like they immediately give you if you build a family, it'll outlive you, and it's like, okay, it's time for you to die. That's good. The family outlives you. Great. Everybody moves on. But no, that's the only problem with this movie is that Dominic Toretto is ass, and every time he speaks is annoying as fuck and corny and cliche. But the stunts are amazing. Them throwing cars at each other with magnets is just incredible content. Third grade me is freaking the fuck out that Bow Wow helped launch Ludacris and Tyrese into space. Like that is the
They
most
did do that in this movie.
that is the most 2003 sentence I can think of, and I'm fucking living for it.
This is something they would have done in a 2003 movie, and they just did it in the year of our Lord 2021 with more money.
John Cena, Bow Wow, Ludacris, and Tyrese are here, like being launched into space and shit. Like third grade me is living for this shit. So it's a B just off the strength of that. But Dominic Toretto is an ass. I have no connection to the rest of the Fast movies, so a lot of the shit I can give a fuck about. I don't care that Han like died and didn't die or whatever, because like I knew nothing about that. I knew nothing about that shit. Gal Gadot was in a flashback. I was like, I don't care. I have zero attachment to Dominic Toretto because, like I said, he's trash and everything he says is annoying. But the stunt work in this movie is amazing. Tyrese and Ludacris are hilarious. It's a B.
Dominic Toretto is the one. Go ahead, Tej.
Did the stare downs between John Cena and Dominic Toretto not work for you? Like when they first see each other, they're in the car and he realizes who he is. That didn't work for you? Because I was in. I was like, this is fucking awesome. John Cena's here. Count me in.
I look like two 50-year-olds staring at each other. This is what
I'm cool.
But John Cena's so cool. He's bigger than Dom. So it's like, oh shit, this is the bigger and badder Dom. That didn't work for you guys? It worked for me.
It worked for me until Vin Diesel started talking. That's the only issue.
That's fair.
It worked until they started having to act against each other, because John Cena's not a terrible actor, but he's not good. Yeah. And then they have to convey emotions, and they're like, you really messed up. No, you messed up. And it's just
so much better than Vin Diesel. It's not even it's ridiculous how much better.
That's what ruined it for me. I was like, wow, John Cena's better at this than Vin Diesel, even though Vin Diesel's been playing this character for like 20 years. John Cena's just better at it than him, but he has nothing to do at the same time.
I was dead ass. Like this movie might be better if John Cena was the lead, low key.
100% better if John Cena is the new Dominic Toretto, for sure.
I'll go out on a limb and say nobody, he's like the fourth or fifth most liked character in this series behind The Rock and Brian, rest in peace.
He stinks.
I'm here for Roman.
I'm here for Roman. I'm here for Roman all the time. Roman's incredible. He makes the movies for me. He's hilarious. I love him.
Oh man, this movie fucking stinks, dude. This movie
so forgettable.
Was so ass. It was just okay. Here's the thing. I don't hate this movie, but because I walked out of it being entertained. Like there's dumber things that I could spend $15 at the movie theater on, or for entertainment purposes. Like there's just dumber things that I could do. But I was also just dumbfounded by the lack of any recognizable plot. Not you can argue with me till you're blue in the face, and I put this on Twitter. You can argue with me until you're blue in the face that these movies are just junk food and there's no substance. There doesn't have to be yada yada yada. That's fine, but not all junk food is made the same. Fast Five was like McDonald's. This was low key like an Arby's sandwich or like a Long John Silver's fish sandwich. What this was. That's exactly what this was, and you know it. Can't hear you, Tej. You muted? Uh-oh.
Tej just being silenced by the liberal media.
What did you do?
Is your mic on?
Oh no. Yeah. I think your mic has a short.
I don't know what that was about.
Yeah, I think your mic.
You're back.
All right.
Liberal media tried to shut me down, but I'm back.
You had a point to be made about this, about my fast food comparison.
Yeah, Long John Silver's is not fun. Fast 9 is very fun. These movies they pull Cena's car.
Stop messing with
cool. That's just so fun.
Yeah, I would stop messing with your mic cord though, by the way. But the thing, man, let's just take all of that out. Let's see here. The the exposition in this movie.
Yeah.
The only thing between action scenes was not like actual conversations between the people in real time. It was exposition of Dom Toretto, who we've just established we could give a shit about. We don't care. We don't care. What you could have done is been like, oh yeah, I have a brother, and been like, what? You're like, yeah. Okay, moving on. Because we've established that nothing matters in this universe. People die and are resurrected like Jesus Christ, and we just don't even care. It just doesn't even matter. The retcon of having Han come back, sure, fuck it, whatever. You didn't have to give us that backstory. No one cared. And be like, yeah, well, I actually didn't explode.
It wasn't me.
Yeah. This movie, the problem with this movie is that it should have ended 2 movies ago.
There's too much money to be made. They're never gonna. They should never.
Should have ended 2 movies ago. You had the perfect way to end it. You had a perfect send off of a character who, by the way, is still alive in this universe. In canon, he is actually still alive. Paul Walker is still alive in this universe. They reference him many times.
He is.
Yikes.
He's still alive.
And you got a perfect way to end it. You have gone just far enough over the top. You're jumping cars to buildings. Now they're like international super spies who like the CIA is calling on them to like do missions.
And they have access to jets at a moment's notice. They can launch Pontiacs off of.
They have like immunity to like go onto foreign countries and wreak havoc and cause crazy amounts of collateral damage, and no one says anything.
Yeah, how do you file an insurance claim for your car being sucked up by a magnet?
No.
To the street?
You're not hearing me right. It was a magnet. Yeah, the fuck right. Get on. We're not claiming that. Liability.
I know what
only.
you're thinking.
I know what you're thinking.
Swear to God, crazy. My car was parked, and then a fucking magnet drove by and sucked that shit 10 miles down the street. I promise you, swear to God.
I actually don't think, I think the biggest flaw in the movie is that Cypher is the most compelling villain that they have, and she literally does nothing. And you know from maybe the middle of the movie that John Cena is going to break good, and so John Cena is going to be a part of the gang if he comes back for another movie. You know that's going to happen because this character cares too much about family to murder his own brother in cold blood. Like, that's not going to happen. That you would ruin.
Also, it's John Cena. It was like when we tried to convince you that what's his face was a Jason Statham was a bad guy. No, he's gonna come back and be a good guy. Whoop ass because he's an action star.
I like that they make all the good guys bad, and eventually Cypher will be a good guy. But she's kind of like the perfect villain because they're setting everything up to be very international and very like computer based. And so she's compelling to have on screen. She's gorgeous. She's hilarious. Like, she's willing to come do these stupid ass movies, and you're going to pay her $1 bajillion, and people like her. So she's in a lot of ways the perfect villain.
She has the villain from Despicable Me haircut, though.
Yeah,
they do weird stuff. In the last movie, she had like fake dreads. Like, they do weird stuff with her hair. But she's so compelling to have on screen in a film franchise that has nothing to do with villains. The villains literally don't matter. It's just like a MacGuffin. Like, we don't care about the villains, but she's awesome as hell to have on screen, and she could be a bad guy. And so she's kind of perfect for that. And so in the next movie, she will be the big bad again, and it'll help these movies because there's no bad guy in this movie. It's John Cena, who you know is going to be good, and it's her who is in the movie for about 7 seconds.
I would also
most of the movie in a box.
Yes,
right.
Basically.
Would also argue that this movie became too self-aware. Like, it's fine when we know that you're going over the top, but they're like in the movie being like, oh, I guess we can't die. And you're just like, come the fuck on. Like, come on, give me a little bit of stakes. It's like, are we superheroes? Like, I can't be shot. And then they're just not. It's not like they make the joke and then Tyrese is actually injured. He just never gets injured. He makes the joke was like, maybe we're gods or something like that. And then nothing happens. Like, he actually just doesn't get injured.
I appreciated the Tyrese bits though. I like that because if you're gonna be ridiculous, at least don't lie to us. Don't pretend. Like,
I like the joke better than what I thought was happening, which was you see the scene where he shoots all the guys when he's in the fake Indiana Jones pit thing. When he's down there and he shoots all the guys, if they don't ever come back and reference that, then you just be like, y'all made a weird movie decision because that's not Roman's character. It's not like he shoots a million people and like he's not John Wick, right? So they had to do something to be like, oh, we understand that what we just showed you was like even far for the limits of this character. Like maybe Dom could get away with that, but like Roman's like the joke guy who sometimes kills a dude. Like he can't kill 30 people without being touched. So they had to, I think it's like they handle it clumsily. I'd rather them to just scrap that all together and just keep making him tell jokes. But they have to give him something to say. Like he have nothing to talk about in this movie other than going to space and being invincible. Those are all his lines. And if he's not going to flirt with Miss Andy anymore, what is he going to talk about? It just is like his lines were either like, oh, we're invincible, or his character has been reduced to screaming. Which I guess is a lot of like Tyrese's characters over the past like few years, but
I was just gonna say that's kind of where he's at.
Yelling at Ludacris. That's what is like.
They tried to make him like the viewer stand in for this movie.
Yeah.
Where he's just like, are we invincible? And then Han comes back and he's like, but we saw you blow up. And they're like, no, we got to tell this backstory. And they're like, no, we
go
saw
back.
You blow up. Like, tell me about that shit. Like,
I did
viewer.
Yeah, I did appreciate that part of the movie where he's like, wait, can we just skip the rest of this part?
like we don't talk about the fact where you came back from the dead. Please skip this shit.
There is so many points in this movie that they just could have cut and they didn't. They put everything in this movie. I bet there's a 5-hour Justin Lin cut because this
Sign me up. Fuck that
so
cut.
Long.
Give me the Lin cut. I'm in. 5 hours of family. I'm in.
This movie is long as hell for no fucking reason.
D plus for Dom should have died. This movie is.
I think it works when Tyrese is the voice of because he's the only one who could like serve as the voice of the crowd. And maybe we want less of the crowd. Like the whole space thing is literally just crowd noise. Like people were like, you should go to space next. That's that's the middle ground. Like we're not going to turn it into a space movie. We're just going to have a dopey space scene where they're right on the edge of the earth and they have to knock down a satellite. Like that. They're just responding to the crowd noise, which they're bored. They have nothing else to do. I hope that they stop doing that. I would rather just have them make the movie and not do the crowd noise thing. It was fine for one film. I like that not to be in Fast 10. Let's take it a little bit more seriously.
I mean, it needs to come down just a little bit for me. I'm so serious. Like, I know that people are like, whatever, but them being international super spies, like the TikTok or whatever, super spy, it was like it just is.
You want them to go back small? Like Undercover Cop is breaking
like I said,
a car chasing ring?
Maybe, but they can't go back now. They can't go back. But the problem is that they jumped the shark in Fast and Furious 5 when they're hauling a fucking safe down the middle of the freeway, and I was like, all right, this is cool. This is what we want. Yeah. But then it's like now Dom's throwing grenades and jumping off of cliffs and hitting drones with a car, and you're just like in fighting 30 men and tearing down literal like steel out of walls and stuff. And how is this guy a superhero or are we not superheroes? Is this a superhero
man movie? Flipped a tank down a cliff, caught the wheel just in time so that he could drive this tank on the road and then threw it at a drone.
Yeah. Like there's a middle ground here between like boosting DVDs and like hitting a drone with a tank.
But in their defense, they didn't go there from movie 1 to movie 9. Every movie was a little bit more, and that's how we got to in the 10th movie. Actually, of course, we got to be somewhere like bigger than like the local gang. But it's not like they just went from get this local car ring to be international super spies. They had to work their way up to it. I think the middle ground is really getting rid of the Vin Diesel can beat up 97 dudes at one time stuff, which doesn't ever actually work for me, and keeping the cars can do anything stuff.
Right. That's fine.
I think the middle ground is to make the humans human, but keep the cars OP'd and you could still do the stunts that way. I think that's where we got to go.
Make the cars
kill
like a
Dom
video.
Toretto.
And
That's
kill
the
Dom
solution.
Toretto. Kill him. He's made plenty of money. Let's please kill this guy and let John Cena be the new lead. I'm in. Give me 10 movies with John Cena in the game.
John Cena versus The Rock. Give it to me. Make Rock break bad and make him the bad. He won't do it because there's too much money in it for him. Like it's in these guys' contracts that they have to all have their hero moment and stuff. And like somebody can't like lift more weight or beat up. That's like the reason The Rock wasn't in this movie is because they had a contract, which I don't know who the fuck Vin Diesel thinks he is. Like having
he really
Vin Diesel for that.
Vin
bro.
Diesel fucking sucks.
Yeah.
He's not even why we like these movies, but I guarantee you he doesn't realize that he's not. He thinks we want to see him. We want to see the stunts in everybody else. We really don't care about Vin Diesel.
This movie was sorely missing The Rock. I swear it really, really was. Even though he doesn't have huge parts in the rest of the movies, it was missing some of that charisma. There was so much lack of charisma in this movie, even from John Cena, who I know y'all said y'all liked. He was way too over serious. Just none of the charm that The Rock brings. Honestly, none of it.
Nobody really has it like that, to be honest.
Yeah, nobody can do that.
Well, that's the problem.
The Rock can do that.
Well, that's the problem. And you're missing it in this movie.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
It's The Rock. The Rock is just that dude.
The Rock.
You didn't even have Jason Statham charisma in this.
Yeah, he's not there.
It goes down like 3 tiers. Then you get
to have Helen Mirren charisma. Helen Mirren's so charismatic.
She is on screen for 5 minutes.
I wish they gave her more screen time. Every time she's in these movies, I get so happy. She's driving fast as shit. She's doing tricks and shit. Sign me up for that. Make her just like an amazing driver.
She's like flirting with Vin Diesel.
She's literally flirting with him, having a normal conversation while in a high-speed chase. That stuff really works for me. But I think the problem they have is they had, in my opinion, all the chemistry in the world when they did Hobbs and Shaw, and people fucking hated it. People just didn't like it. I thought it was fine. Yeah. People hate that film. Like people were just not into it. And it's like you have The Rock, you have Jason Statham, but you don't have the rest of the gang. And because of the beef between the cast, you can't bring in those two dudes and give them anything to do at the same time we're with Dom and the crew. Like we can't bring them together, and that sucks because really they both need each other. The films would be better if everybody is on screen and the story wraps around all these people and a lot less Vin Diesel time and a lot more time with The Rock being The Rock. That's what we need.
I'll be honest, I haven't watched the Fast movie. I saw Hobbs and Shaw, but I haven't seen a mainline Fast and Furious movie since Tokyo Drift because I was like, I just don't care.
Have you never seen Fast 5?
Nah, there were too many.
It's legitimately behind. It's not just good for these bad movies. It's legitimately good.
This is what I've heard. I just never got around to seeing it, and then just never went back for it. But what it seems like the issue is that the like stunt, like the ridiculousness got really, really high. But like the stakes of the situation never got higher because like it's not like these people are gonna die. You're just watching.
Yeah, if anything, it got much lower once they started bringing people back from the dead. There's no stakes anymore.
It is being invincible and shit. Like you're not worried about any of the shit that's happening. But you're just kind of like letting it happen to you.
Is that really what it is though? Because we love the Marvel universe. None of the Avengers, well, other than recently, it took them 20 something films to kill an Avenger, right? Like we knew these dudes weren't gonna die. And we kept watching them beat the shit out of people anyway.
But they have
is it literally just because we say that they have that's true. They're doing a lot more character building and a lot more like emotional like weight. But it can't be just that the fact that these characters don't die bothers us in F9 because all we have to do is say, well, the people in F9 have superpowers, and then boom, it's like we don't care that they don't die.
Yeah, but they haven't done that yet.
They have though. They haven't said it, but obviously it's true. Like. Obviously, these people are not like you and I. I would have sprained my ankle 37 times in this film. So, like, they're not like us. Like, they don't have to say it for us to know it.
But look at a movie like Spider-Man Homecoming, right? Like, the story is very, very small for the MCU, pretty contained. Like, you know, it's the first Spider-Man movie. Obviously, Peter Parker's not going to die. But you do all the character work with Tom Holland. Like, you spend all this time with Tom Holland, and he's, like, trying to get the girl or whatever. And then boom, Vulture's the girl's dad, and you're like you're sold. Then
you really are sold from that point. Like I'm in.
Then him and the Vulture fight, and you're like, this is some fucked up shit. Like this is deep. Peter down bad. Like I'm in this shit. You know, Peter's not gonna die, but you're fucking sold. This movie, you're like, do I really care what happens to Tyrese? Nah, I wouldn't. But nothing's gonna happen to him anyway. They're just gonna go into space and run to the satellite. That's fine. Whatever.
The problem is that you got to view all this through the acting abilities of Michelle Rodriguez and Vin Diesel and
Oh, this is not fair.
Tyrese.
We cannot lump her in with
Jordana
him.
Brewster.
You can't lump her in with him. I think
she
Rodriguez,
was also bad in this movie.
Terrible.
She stinks at this role. Like, she's just not good in these movies. But I think Michelle Rodriguez is a much better actress than Vin Diesel is an actor.
Yeah.
But I just think they have. She has nothing to do. Vin Diesel does have stuff to do. He just can't do it. Like, he can't act. Like, Vin Diesel is a really bad actor. Like, very, very low tier. And he's one of the highest paid actors in Hollywood. Because
that's why they only have him say, "I am Groot."
Marvel did it correctly.
Watching Michelle Rodriguez interact with Vin Diesel and the little kid, I was like, get this out of here. Why do we have this shit?
Oh my God. When she dove into the water and the next scene is like him waking up and looking at her and they're just like, "You came back for me." And she's like, "You're my family." And you're just like, oh my God.
None of this matters if I lose you. None of it?
Y'all aren't being fair enough to the writers of these movies, because the emotional side of the story was always the Paul Walker character who was dating Dom's sister. That was the emotional part. We never really knew or cared about the emotional part of like the Dom and Michelle Rodriguez relationship, but they had to put the emotional. If you're going to have it in there, where does it go? Like, if you can't do it with Paul Walker anymore, where do you put it? You obviously got to put it on the guy who's on screen the most, but those people are the worst suited people to carry that kind of emotional weight on the whole set. But they're just kind of fucked on that point. Like, I don't know how else you can do it. You can't have
no stakes.
Who's the best actor? Like, is it Han? We're gonna have the Han girlfriend like chase, like they have a kid and we get to be in their house with their little kid. Nobody gives a fuck about Han's family.
Shit, it might be ludicrous. Fucking might be ludicrous.
Other than The Rock, of course, who's The Rock could be charming and act like The Rock. So, like,
honestly, they could have done a lot more with
it's Natalie
John Cena.
It's Natalie Emanuel, if we're being honest.
Can we talk about her for a second? I feel like she doesn't get hurt. Seeing that woman on the big screen is such a blessing to my life.
She's amazing.
That is she's so gorgeous. Her accent is perfect. And it's not even, she's not even wearing, they don't even have her dressed like the Black Widow, where they're obviously trying to play towards like sexualizing this character for the gaze of boys. Like, she's just wearing like jackets and regular pants and she just looks amazing.
Always.
She's awesome. She's awesome.
And that was the best part of the movie for me, is that scene where she's like driving the truck magnet thing and Tyrese and Ludacris are in the back. You're hanging out with just a side character. Dom Toretto doesn't matter. And the movie gets really good.
That is incredible. That's a great scene. That fist fight scene was really cool, and the gravity in that scene was fun. And her nailing all those cars and reacting to it was great. But then they intercut that with fucking Dom Toretto in Tim's going across buildings, running across English buildings, and being able to chase down his brother who is on a zip line. Feet.
He just ran and caught him.
Yeah, through a building, and it's just like, I laughed out loud when they said big ass fucking Vin Diesel running in Tim's. Like, you would have slipped and fell or broke your ankle. Like, it just...
I was watching that scene like, is nobody noticing this fucking man ziplining through?
Like, nobody can see him but Dom. Everybody else is living their normal day. There's a massive human ziplining through the city, and nobody sees it. Like, this dude's like 6'3", like he's huge.
Incredible. Just everyone's head in this movie is huge too. I don't know if that's just part of the steroids. Like, everyone has a huge head.
There's a lot of steroids on that set. All right. There's a lot of steroids on that set.
There's so many
the only
shots.
One who doesn't do the steroids.
There's so many shots of John Cena's face where I'm just like, he looks too regular. Like, he just
looks like a cow.
Something about John Cena's face is just like so stereotypically like regular white American male. It's like, why do you look like that?
It's like, oh, you're from Boston.
Did y'all like the Yoda slander? Because I didn't appreciate that.
That was a dumb portion of this movie too.
It wasn't even good.
Took forever to get there to that punchline.
It wasn't even good though, and I'm just like, you shit on Star Wars And it wasn't even good. It didn't even this isn't even witty. What are y'all doing?
Yeah,
I don't understand why that was in the film.
I didn't like that, and I didn't like Otto trying to become the big bad in the middle of the movie. I thought that shit was so dumb.
He's sitting there like, oh, sorry, I just betrayed you. Like the very closeted gay villain, it just all of a sudden turns heel, and it's just like,
that was an overall shitty character. Like the whole
didn't make any sense. They kind of
completely
just
shitty.
introduced him as the money, but he didn't do anything. He
There had to be a better way to get the money into. Obviously, we don't want you to think that John Cena is rich because he comes from the same circumstances as his brother. But there has to be another way that John Cena got the money to do this. We didn't actually need him to have like a weird. That was just a weird character. I didn't know where they were going there.
He was just bad, and him.
But he wasn't like a bad dude throughout the movie. He was just the dude that wanted to make money. Then all of a sudden, at the very end, he's like, "Oh, sorry, I just like to betray people and whatnot." And you're just
Rich assholes run the world, man. Shut the fuck up. Get the fuck out of here.
Mike again.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry, I gotta stop doing that. At first, I thought he was comic relief, but then I was like, "Oh, he's like the real big bad." But then I was like, "Wait, that doesn't make any sense." And I just didn't understand where he fit in the story at all.
He goes from villain number 3
Yeah.
to villain number 2. And that's his big character. Because Charlize Theron is still the big bad at the end of the movie. But it's now Otto is her henchman instead of John Cena's henchman, but he still loses anyway because he's trash. So
Like I said, all of the action scenes in this are good, but everything else between the action scenes is objectively some of the worst filmmaking I think I've ever seen. Objectively, it's so bad.
I gotta say, not all the action scenes are good, because that scene where Vin Diesel is fighting all those people
That wasn't good.
Middle of that sewer, that shit was
wasn't
ass.
good at all. That shit was awful.
He barely even moved. He's not even. He barely moved.
He goes, oh, and
He's getting stomped out by 18 people, and he's just waving his arms back and forth. And then in the middle of it, he stands up and just pushes them all.
I guarantee
So
you
weird.
that scene was written at the behest of Vin Diesel himself. that scene didn't make any. That's not how. There's no other scene like that in the movies. He doesn't fight 90 dudes and wins that. I don't even know where that came from. So that was something where Vin was like, I want a little bit more to do. That's not just dialogue that I stink at. Give me some fight scenes. But that was weird. That didn't.
But he has a good fight scene with Jacob in that.
Yes, that's the only one
one
we need. We don't need you to fight 90 dudes in a tower. It was just weird. It just was.
Because
I didn't
he's
get
just
it.
trying to be the big strong brute guy, and it just looked bad while he was doing it.
He also tells them, he's like, go, and just closes the door. And then people are still climbing up the thing to go get them. It's not like he closed them to give them any time. And she still comes back.
And she still saves him.
Yeah.
They should have fucking killed him. He should have died, and it would have been so much better.
He murders 18 people in that scene. He's breaking people over his knee.
He broke some dude's neck.
Yeah,
people are getting ripped apart by chains.
This is another casualty of, you have the big swole dude who you do action scenes with. His name is The Rock. You can just put him in the movie, but now you can't. And it's that. But you get that in the jailbreak scene in Fast 8, I think that is, where The Rock and Jason Statham break out of jail.
That makes sense, though.
They fight 100 dudes, and it makes sense. We are used to seeing The Rock and Jason Statham beat up a whole bunch of dudes at one time. So it made perfect sense. Didn't feel weird. Having Vin Diesel have a scene like that just didn't feel right. Put him in a car and let him jump over some shit, but he's not going to fight 90 dudes with his hands. That's not even this character.
It definitely was he saw that scene in Fast 8 and he was like, I gotta have one of those scenes.
It feels like that. He's like, I need a scene like this. They look so cool. I need that. And it's to the detriment of the movie.
He saw one of those Asian action movies, The Raft or some shit, and he was like, I want one.
Didn't The Rock Stone Cold Stunner somebody in the last movie?
He did that. He rock bottomed somebody.
Yeah, he rock bottomed somebody. That's cool. We like that. We don't give a shit about you just standing up and going freedom, and like
He
tearing
basically
down.
just screamed and it defeated all these enemies. Like, what are we doing?
He like Iron Giant it, and it just like
This man was like fucking Samson in the Bible, just like ripping down the columns and shit.
oh my
He
god.
probably thought that shit was so cool. I was like, this is the worst scene in the movie.
This is
we didn't need
ass.
this scene.
But yeah, Vin Diesel is 53 years old. Like we know you can't move like you used to, buddy. It's fine. Like The Rock, we know The Rock is athletic, has been athletic for literally his entire life. We get it. Like he can do a lot of shit that you can't do. But Vin Diesel, you're not that guy. You're not that guy.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me.
I bet you The Rock watched that scene and literally laughed because he knew, oh, Vin Diesel tried to have a scene like The Rock but he just can't. Like he's old, he's out of shape. Like
I bet you The Rock hadn't
it.
even watched this shit. I bet he was never watched this shit.
He doesn't know what the fuck's
He's
happening.
gonna
in
go,
this
what the?
film.
He's gonna get the next script and be like, "What?
What happened? I'm confused.
Yeah, he's never watched any of these movies. He hadn't even gone to the premieres. He's just like, whatever. Give me my check clear. He doesn't give a shit.
I
He's out there
honestly,
making Disney movies and shit. He could give a fuck.
I can't imagine being The Rock and going back and watching the movies that you make. Like watching that fucking Hercules movie. Like there's no way that you actually watched that shit.
Scorpion King.
Yeah, there's no fucking way. Maybe he watched The Game Plan. That might have been the one.
Tooth Fairy.
It would be so much better if The Rock wasn't going to be the next Republican nominee for president. And I could just enjoy him on screen. Because I really like The Rock, but I know I see the future on this one. It's not good. It's not fun.
I just can't get over how much they could have, like, I know there's too much money and like people enjoy these movies and it's just instant ramen. Like I get it, but it just had the perfect out. You had the out. And if you wanted to come back years later and like kind of reboot it, then I guess, but continuing this in the main line to where they are literally international spies.
Invincible international spies.
It just, you had the out, man. You had the Charlie Bluth and Wiz Khalifa song. You had the out, and you just didn't take it.
Counterpoint: these films are literally saving movie theaters. We need them. They're necessary. They have to keep making these.
Because that first night that I went to go see this movie, that shit was jam-packed. Motherfucker was in there like there was no pandemic ever. Like motherfuckers was back for Fast 9.
Without movies like this, we people who like going to the movie theaters are like gonna be fucked. There's gonna be one movie theater in every major city. Like it's scary out to movie theaters. So my theater was also packed. Like these movies are wildly popular because Americans are dumb and they just want to have some fun at the movie theater. And I bet you everybody in the movie theater had fun. I had a great time.
You say Americans are dumb. Of course, like this is going ham in America, but this is going fucking bananas in China.
It's definitely not just America.
this is doing wilt numbers in China. They eat this shit up. Oh man,
this movie and Black Widow single-handedly bringing back the box office. Like,
I will say the fight scene, the actual fight scene with the three women in the house was cool. I actually liked that. That's when Michelle Rodriguez was good, and when she was riding the motorcycle and stuff, that was fine.
That's
and when she was fighting, it was great. And driving the car, it's great.
What about when she was raising her child?
What?
She's the stepmom. Like, what about the scenes with the kid? They didn't move you.
She bounces. She the first opportunity that she gets to leave,
literally leave.
Just like,
all right, bye.
I can't do it. She's like, this is fun, but like, I really need to go face death because I would rather be mom than raise kid.
This stupid ass child in the middle of the farm. Yeah. We're in the middle of the woods, no phones, just vibing out here. I hate this kid.
It's so boring. So boring. I'd rather go get blown up by landmines and jump across a bridge that isn't there.
I ain't signed up for this to watch Coco Melon all fucking day. Get me out of here.
If I watch Bluey one more time, I'm gonna lose my mind.
She does mention that in the movie, like, wow, there's something about being back out here. It's just like, yeah, you've been stuck raising somebody else's kid every day and just like incredibly bored, and anything will be fun for you at the moment.
I'm not gonna even lie. When I didn't even know whose mom that kid was from. She was like the cop. Like, was he?
Yeah, he was dating the cop. They thought Michelle
From
Rodriguez
Five?
had died, so she was dating the cop because Michelle Rodriguez was dead. Then
And they just killed her.
Well, she was never dead. Like they said that she died, and a couple movies later, they brought her back, and she came and she was she was working with the cop. She was against Dom, and she didn't remember anything. She was in a coma.
Oh God!
She's shooting at Dom, but then the power of love and family, Dom makes her remember what they used to be, and so when that part happens, they kill the cop. Like the cop lady dies the next movie, so that you got to move her out of the picture because she's has
back.
a new love interest. So they kill the cop.
God,
But not before she reveals that she had a baby and then delivers this baby and then she is killed.
What?
So she's not she's not OP like everybody else. She actually died. So like, well, they didn't show her die on screen. So
she's gonna come back. She's gonna come back, even though she's not like a mainline actor.
Also not OP is the Asian girl's parents. R.I.P.
Also,
R.I.P. to those people.
Dude, doesn't Han get shot too and survives that? Also, like he gets shot like jumping in front of bullets for that girl.
Yeah, he shoots all of them and also gets shot. And then I guess him and the kid just thug it out.
Oh, also, you know who's not OP in this is Wonder Woman. Yeah,
rip.
She's actually not. The best decision that they ever made though was replacing her with Natalie Emmanuel.
Amen to that.
Yeah,
that's a huge upgrade for all of us.
What was the story there? Did Gal Gadot not want to be in these movies anymore? Like,
no, she started doing Wonder Woman, and so she did like the schedules weren't matching up. And plus, she was Han's girlfriend.
Yeah,
and Han wasn't in the movies for those couple years anyway, so it really didn't have anything to do with the character anyway, because Han was gone and she was Han's girlfriend. So
yeah, Gal Gadot, R.I.P. to you in these movies. They're like, we're fine. We saw 84. We don't have to. We saw the screen test for 84. We don't have to.
One random thing that I really want to talk about from this movie for no particular reason is just how fucking cool Rain looks in movies. like that Tokyo scene where the parents die and like the little girl is left. That Rain looks so fucking dope. Rain never looks like that in real life. Rain is so trash in real life. And then you watch a movie.
Rain is so trash.
Rain is so trash in real life and so inconvenient. But these people are like in the middle of a torrential downpour that would have Houston underwater for 3 days. But they're about to just go to the movie theater because that's just what Rain looks like in movies. I love the way they do Rain in movies. I went to Universal Studios and they like showed us the sprinklers and how they work and shit for
the rain
scenes. Yeah, and I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. I will never not notice this in movies now.
I guarantee you, I think actors hate acting in that shit because it's like heavy, so they can get it on. They can get it on camera. So it's just like hail. Yeah, it's just like hail hitting you.
It's rain that would literally shut down Houston for weeks.
Knock you off your feet.
If it ever rained like that in Houston, we would be done for at least 2 weeks. But in movies, it's just a regular ass day. Just going to the store, put on my jacket, I'll be good.
The ending set piece was really cool. Like the magnet thing, it actually was really, really cool. And then like just what was funny is that it didn't make any sense because in the actual movie or in the first, when they introduced the magnets, she was able to get the car immediately to her with those magnets. But when they're doing the magnets, it's like following behind them, so it hits the people behind them. So it's
it was I noticed that too. Like, oh, now the magnets won't direct you straight to the car. They'll just be behind you, knocking everybody else away. And it was like, wait, they literally switched the science of that. But
but 300 people died when they were doing that, by the way.
So many people died. They're sucking like
there were
random
cars
objects
going everywhere.
They're sucking random objects out of building through windows and shit. People are dead. Like all the people that are in these stores, they got hit with so much fucking shit.
Somebody that was parallel parking, and all of a sudden it's just like, whoom.
Somebody found out their ring is fake in the most horrifying way possible, and their finger flew off. Like they're done.
I cannot wait for them to bring magnets into Mission Impossible. I want magnets in all my action movies now. Just bring them on. They're just cool. Let's do it. I'm not tired of it yet. So let's
I want Tom Cruise in these movies.
Tom Cruise would have made it so much better.
Give me Tom Cruise in this movies. You know why they would have done? He would have made it so much better. He's like, we're gonna do all this for real.
We're actually doing this. That car's gonna get
biggest
magnetized.
fucking magnet you've ever seen in your life right now.
Tom, you don't actually have to jump off the tank and land in like
we
a
can't
hero
actually
pose.
send you to space, Tom. Please, we cannot do that. We can't.
No, they're actually doing that.
Yeah, they're actually doing that shit. And that's Mission Impossible will win the actual space race because just going into orbit doesn't fucking count. Space race wasn't over until Americans got on the moon.
Facts.
Mission Impossible is going to the fucking moon. Tom Cruise is going to fight some big ass spy on a moon base in real life. I guarantee you.
Okay, so the final, we got to talk about the thing that everybody said maybe they'll go to space, and then they probably just wrote it in the last minute. They're like, I guess we're gonna send these motherfuckers to space. Yeah, and it's so dumb, man. It's so stupid. It's funny, but it's so stupid. They go up there in like wetsuits and like divers suits. They go up there and they're just like duct taping, and like they know it's dumb because they're like, we're going on the back of a Pinto or whatever it is. And it's just
they do such a good job with letting Tyrese and Ludacris have so much chemistry, just being like two dudes that know each other. And I know the character you're supposed to play. I know the character I'm supposed to play. They just have such great chemistry.
But I love that in every. Did I do it again?
No, you're good now.
I love that in every one of these movies, there's always a little scene where you have the Ludacris and Tyrese dynamic because it's one of my favorite parts of these movies. I just love it. I love it every time.
Yeah, that started in 5, I think, really like heavy, and I think they've really kind of continued that really well. But the dumbest thing is not that they go into space and are there; it's that they can't actually shut down the satellite, so they drive through it, and their car isn't affected at all.
At all, not even one broken part, and they just get to keep floating in space, even though they just drove their car through a massive satellite.
Yeah, apparently Nas like has the same exact effect in space that it does on the ground. So they just use Nas to blow up a satellite, and you know the fucking Space Force isn't out there like regulating shit. I don't know what the Space Force does, but you would think stopping people in Pontiac Fieros from blowing up satellites would be job number one for the Space Force. Thanks, Donald Trump.
Also, shout out to brand awareness and saying, "Oh, they look like Minions."
Yeah,
brand synergy right there. All right,
also, so much Corona product placement in this movie.
Yeah, they upped that. They knew
they got even more now. It's like every movie they have more Corona stuff. Corona is putting a ton of money into these movies.
Well, they needed the PR, to be honest.
True. Has not been the best year for that company.
I'm not gonna lie though. I left and I was like, "Do I want a Corona? Do I want? Look good as hell. Do I want one?" He doesn't even take a drink out of it though. Too. He's like,
"Yeah."
No.
Both times I saw this movie, I was like, "That what an asshole, man! This dude just opened a bottle of beer for you. You got to drink that shit. Come on."
And then. Yeah, I just can't get over all the exposition and the backstory and just the young Dom Toretto and Jacob, who are completely different sizes, by the way. That the guy that plays Jacob is 3 feet shorter than the guy that plays young Dom. And the thing with that, and then his dad dying, and you're just supposed to convey the emotions, and they're just like, oh, sad, and we could all give a shit.
I just don't understand how many years was Dom in prison like for murdering this man, because he looks exactly the same.
Teach your mic. Teach your mic. Go for it.
All right, I'm gonna try a new mic next time. I don't know why it's been acting like that. It probably wasn't murder. It probably was like manslaughter, because he was obviously very provoked, and you would argue that in court. So it probably wasn't murder, but it did seem like he got out. If he gets out at the age where the first movie starts, he's like in his like mid-20s, so he wasn't in jail for that long.
No, and he just tells his brother, just keep on going, and he does.
Yeah, I would have been like, no deal. Like, what are you talking about?
No dice.
I thought that it gave me like a Ford versus Ferrari vibe in the beginning with the dad and the driving, which is a really compelling way to start one of these movies. Just starting on like a racetrack. Obviously, you're paying homage to cars, but also you're setting up a story. I thought it kind of worked. I actually was into it. Like, I thought they took it seriously enough. It was like just campy enough, but there was enough emotion there to make me feel it. So I didn't hate it. I kind of like the people they cast to play the young Cena and the young.
I like that actor that is the young Jacob. I actually do like that. He's been in some other like Peaky Blinders and a few other things, but the guy actually kind of sounds a lot like Vin Diesel, which sounds and looks a little bit like him, which I was like, that's not bad casting, but it also like imagine not sounding like that and then having to act like that.
Having to act like this.
My problem with that stuff is they went to the well too many times. We went back to that like
they went back like 6 times.
Yeah, we went back so many fucking times. We saw more of flashback John Cena than of actual John Cena.
That's my problem. That's a huge problem with this. It's like they could have cut out 18 scenes in this movie and made it an hour and a half. Shit. Okay.
Like you watch the dad die, and then you watch, like you think you watch John Cena kill him, then you go back and you watch the dad making the phone call, then you go back again to flashback John Cena and Vin Diesel talking about it. You go back and watch Vin Diesel kill the guy. Like you go back way too many times.
Can we talk about the fact of why Dominic Toretto's character would believe that his younger brother murdered his dad? Why would he believe that? That doesn't make any sense to me. He immediately believes that. And I'm just like, oh, even when it was happening in the movie, I was like, did they really just write that? Is John Cena really that cold-blooded of a killer? Because that's not the vibe I got from the grown-up John Cena. So it's weird that this dude would literally murder his father. Like, so I thought it was weird that Dominic bought that so easily. Like, yeah, that's what the beef is about. Like, yeah, because he killed dad. It's idiot. Like, that doesn't make any sense, bro. That's your little brother.
All about family, unless it's my brother. In which case,
unless it's my actual brother. In which case, fuck him.
Piece of shit. Never liked him.
He was way too quick to be like, my brother is my enemy now. Like, it happened so fast. I was like, you don't want to think this out, bro? Like, this is your brother. Like,
he was stewing about that in jail for a long time. He was sitting there going like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, what was his plan, like, to get his brother out of town if his brother hadn't become like a racing legend or whatever? Like, were you just gonna like arm wrestle him like instead of racing?
What was your plan?
They were gonna fight with wrenches in the street. All right. Anything else?
The writing of I will say the only thing I didn't like about those little setup scenes, those little prequel things, was that the guy who Dom beats up is so obviously like wanting to be beat up. You don't like, how could you just talk to people like that? Like, the stuff he's saying doesn't even make sense to say to somebody who's like 30 years your junior and like much bigger than you and like much more athletic than you.
And
why would you be talking to him like that,
bro?
Like,
what are you doing?
Like nobody is actually that much of an asshole to talk to people whose kids, their father just died, and just to go berate them for no reason. Like, it didn't feel. I was like, what? Why is this guy acting like this? This doesn't make sense.
Oh, you're the useless one, bitch. My dad just died. Like,
yeah, you don't say that to someone whose dad just died.
Oh, please,
that character was just
punch me in the face.
That character was so badly written. Like, he wasn't human at all. He was just a monster. Like, what is this guy?
Please punch me in the face.
We're all going in the same circle. Bitch, what? My dad, like, get the fuck out of here.
That didn't even make sense. And my dad just died, bro. I don't need any of your shit today. Like, I don't want your shit today.
None of what you're saying makes sense, and my dad is dead. So there's two of these things that have happened.
Get the fuck out of here, man. Why are you here?
Oh my God. All right. We are gonna draft movie F9. Go see it or don't. I don't give a shit.
Go see it.
F9, the Fast Saga, Fast and Furious 9, the Fast and Furious Fast Saga. F9. That was
I'll be in the
Nine.
theater for Fast 10. I'll be in the
9
theater
Fast,
again.
9 Furious.
I think The Rock is in the next one. I think they've squashed that beef, or
You
they just
gotta
gave,
be.
or they just gave The Rock more money. I think that's actually probably what they did.
or something like that.
All right. So we are drafting movie families right after this ad break from Apollo Houston. And what do we want to do? Do we want to do who hasn't had a first pick in a while?
Who can remember something like that?
Dex hadn't had a first pick in a while. Let's go Dex Tees Royden.
All right.
Bet.
Movie families draft. This is actually kind of hard because when you Google this, it comes up family movies, which isn't the same thing.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one. But we've all seen so many movies. It should be easier to just pull them from our brains.
Yeah, just make it up. It's fine. But number one overall pick, I gotta go with what I think is a pretty safe, pretty obvious choice. The Corleones from
Damn it.
The Godfather. You haven't even seen The Godfathers.
So
But I mean, yeah. I mean, it's the fucking Godfather. Everybody.
Have you still
knows
not
what
seen the
fuck is
fucking
up.
Godfather?
I don't have time.
You have so much time.
I don't have time.
We
It's
need to
like
skip a week
30
just so
minutes
you can
longer
watch the
than this
Godfather.
movie.
Like, yes, it's about the same length as this film. Like,
Godfather is 5.5 hours long. You can't convince me otherwise.
Fast 9 is like 30 minutes shorter than the
it's a really
Godfather. You
fast
gotta
watch too. It flies by, man. It literally flies by. You're so
I'm going to watch it. You convinced me to watch Goodfellas. I will watch.
thank you. I'm going with the Incredibles. That's my family that I'm drafting.
Nice.
Because those movies are fucking amazing, and that family is amazing. And the mama got a little junk in the trunk, and I like that. So I'm gonna go with the Incredibles family.
I knew exactly what they were doing.
They knew.
They knew exactly what they were doing.
And I appreciate them.
Let's see. I'm gonna go with a throwback classic that nobody's gonna remember. I'm gonna go with Meet the Robinsons.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, I haven't seen that in a long time.
It's
Nobody
been
has.
so long, but yeah.
I'm gonna go with Meet the Robinsons, and then I'm gonna go with the family from Coco.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, just two animated classics right there. Meet the Robinsons, not so much a classic. Coco, on the other hand, will go down in history. But yeah, that's what I'm going with for right now.
All right. This is a movie answer that technically doesn't make sense yet, but there's about to be a movie that comes out where it will make sense. So I'm taking the family from The Sopranos. Their family dynamics are just so cool to watch play out, and the way it drives the plot. And there's the Sopranos movie that comes out this year. Well, who knows if it's going to be good, but I'll be in the theater for that.
It has every look that it may be good. But I, for one, have never finished or cared to really watch The Sopranos.
Guys, you have to watch this.
Started it 5 times. Cannot get past like the 5th
Guys.
episode. I can't do it.
You have to watch The Sopranos.
Not that I don't like it. I just don't care.
Dex, don't tell me you haven't seen The Sopranos.
He hasn't seen
I haven't
The
seen The
Sopranos.
Sopranos. I'm sorry. I zero interest, to be honest with you. It's not
just
even. It's not even one of those that I'm like, I missed it when it came out. I never went. No, I just never wanted to watch it. I could have. I just didn't.
Incredible television.
I'll take your word for it. Let's see. So I'm gonna go with 2 more animated classics for my next 2 picks. I'm gonna go with Mufasa's family from The Lion King, the royal lion family. They're dope. Shout out to
They let him go out sad though.
he went
And they got
outside on
taken
his
over.
own.
Then they got taken over by Scar. They didn't even like.
Still in the family. My man bounced back.
You're drafting both the good guys and the bad guys because they're in the same family.
Yeah, my family bounced back. You know what I'm saying? Simba and Nala came through. Nala's part of the family now. I assume that her and Simba settled down and got busy. I think that's canon in Lion King too. Simba's pride, but yeah, I fuck with them heavy. Shout out. And then let's see. My other one is going to be the family from Frozen. So Elsa and Anna, just thugging it out after their parents died.
Just 2
making
orphans?
it happen. 2 orphans, just making it happen.
Just grinding.
And running a country. It was frozen for a while, but now it's back and we have superpowers and shit. Elsa's queen of the magic forest thing or whatever it is. Anna's queen of the actual world. It's just dope. Shout out to them, the Frozen family.
All right.
All right, so me. I'm taking another animated classic. I will be drafting the family from Finding Nemo, but the family also includes the extended family of Dory, who's a part of their little family. I don't really have to explain that one. Those films are just super charming and amazing. I like hanging out with them.
Y'all said that they let Mufasa go outside, but Nemo's family went out so fucking sad.
Nemo's mom went outside.
They at least found everybody.
No, they found Nemo. Everybody else, all Nemo's brothers and sisters went outside.
When do you consider life starting, Dex? Were you gonna have this conversation?
Just
Oh my god.
down
Life starts
bad.
at conception, then you're right.
Marlon, absolutely useless.
What's he gonna do? He's gonna fight a barracuda?
He could try.
He got worked. he got the work. All right, I'm gonna take the Little Women from Little Women,
Okay, yeah.
and then I'm gonna take the family from Parasite.
Yeah.
Awful family, terrible, but they got each other's back.
Down for what the fuck ever.
They will literally kill people and then hide under a table while the other family is fucking. That's what they will do.
One of the most awkward scenes in movie history, but one of the greatest because that shit was incredible comedy, but also not at all funny.
I am still shocked when he gets hit on the head with that rock.
I'm gonna have to
like-
watch the movie again here soon because I haven't seen it since it won the Oscar. I saw it in theaters and I watched it again after it won the Oscar, and I'm gonna have to watch it again now because
A Disney property, that shit's on Hulu.
shit is on Hulu. Incredible. Shout out.
All right, Teach, final pick.
My final pick for movie families is going to be the Fast 9 family. I
The
love
Fast
them,
9 family.
or the Fast franchise family.
Okay.
I love them. They're the most family-friendly movies in Hollywood because family is a superpower, and so we're gonna rock with them because even though these movies don't make any sense and they're really stupid, I really enjoy them every time I go see them. So I'm gonna keep watching.
The memes that have come out of this, though, about the family memes
They have been so good.
are really, really funny.
Better than the actual movie.
Apollo Des tweeted. Hold on, he tweeted some. Let me see if I can find it really quickly. Oh, it's Dom. No, that's suicide. A T-Rex is strong, but not as strong as family. Kevin McAllister. I don't want a new family. I want any. I don't want any family. Families suck, and it's just him pointing a shotgun at him.
That's
Incredible.
yep.
Yeah. So Deg's final pick.
So I'm gonna go with Odin and his family from the Thor movies.
Or lets them go out so sad. All of them are dead.
Odin is the worst dad of all time.
Okay, fair, but his children, literal gods, and Loki is incredible content. And I just wanted to talk about that. We're gonna do a
okay.
Loki episode as soon as it's over, which is in a couple weeks, I guess.
2
But
weeks.
I never really got the Loki hype, like for him as a character or for Hiddleston as an actor, until watching Loki, and now I'm like, this shit is amazing. I understand what everybody else saw. I didn't see the vision, now I see it. Loki is amazing. Obviously, Thor went to another level with Thor Ragnarok, stayed at that level with Infinity War. Came down a little bit with Endgame, but I'm sure he'll be back with Thor Love and Thunder.
I saw the
mom,
vision.
Amazing.
Yeah, I saw the vision with Ragnarok with that character when but also if you haven't seen a series, it's called The Night Manager with Tom Hiddleston. It was an AMC series. I think it may be on Amazon, but he won like a Golden Globe for it. It's him and Hugh Laurie. It's actually kind of shows off his acting
Dope.
ability, and a lot of his other stuff, like when he's like the leading man and he doesn't have that weird long black hair. Obviously, he oozes charisma, and women love this guy.
Yeah. Yeah, women do indeed love him.
I've had
But
a
yeah.
similar coming to Jesus moment with it. I think I always knew Hiddleston was a good actor. I just didn't really care for the Loki character. But this show has really made me see, like, oh, this is why people like stand Loki. I've really been enjoying it.
Him and Owen Wilson trading bars is just
It's been
incredible
fun, man.
content. I will sit and
It's
watch
really
that
been fun.
any fucking day.
R.I.P. to my guy, Lightning McQueen. If you haven't seen the movie,
R.I.P.
it's been out for a week now. Spoilers, but yeah. So that has been our Fast and Furious F9 Fast and 9 Fast Saga movie review. So you can find us all at One Take Pod. You can find us at One Take Pod on Instagram and Twitter. You can email us at onetakepodcastshow@gmail.com. You can also leave and subscribe and download and leave us a review, a 5-star review. Really would appreciate that. You've been slacking. Just gonna call you out. You've been slacking. We need them reviews. But Dex, also, where can they buy some of the Dopest Houston merch with also a potential promo code from us?
ApolloHOU.com. It's incredible. We're putting out so much dope shit right now.
Wearing the shirt.
I'm
wearing the One Take shirt right now.
T just repping the gang. Roy, did you
Gang.
get your shirt? I got mine.
I got too fat between when I ordered it and when it came in that I had to give it to Caitlin. But we do have shirts,
And they're so dope. They like the shirt is comfortable. The graphic looks dope. Like it's just an incredible shirt. You should buy it. We also got the Funk Out 2 base shirts, which are super hot right now. Talked about everywhere. We got the Hose Mad t-shirt. Just every single Astros fucking shirt that you can think of. Also be on the lookout. We're gonna start selling Baylor merch. I know a lot of y'all are Baylor fans. We're branching out into college shit this fall. So be on the lookout for that. Yeah, use promo code OneTakePod, ONETAKEPOD, and get 10% off all of our dope shit, no matter what it is, no matter how much you buy. 10% off all of it.
because we're dope and we do dope shit.
Wow.
All right, we're out.
Hashtag support Florence Pugh.
Oh yeah, hashtag support Florence Pugh. That's next week. So sorry. By the
We
way,
can't forget to support Florence Pugh.
our
right now.
next
It's her time.
next review is the most highly anticipated movie of like 2 years.
Let's go.
Black Widow will be our next movie.
Let's
Hashtag
go.
support Florence Pugh. We're out.